Hello and welcome to episode 13 of my Dark Elves Let's Play. One day I'll try not to almost call them Night Elves when I start. So yes, I've managed to secure a nice area now. If you remember from my earlier ones, I was really struggling at the start, but we are now in a position where we are starting to push back. I just need to catch up on exactly where I am because I've been playing a fair bit of my Beast Men at the moment as well. So yeah, I've just been chasing this little army back up, and we are trying to get our public order back in line. I do just have a little freeze there. I have just loaded in. I do occasionally get a couple of little freezes when I do. Right, so yeah, let's start really working on my public order, and I'm gonna have to get. My plan is to push myself up, get myself in position, retake the Temple of Cain so I can start clearing out some of his chaos corruption. And then I'm going to put myself in a position because I'm going to get attacked by Mung from they've got multiple routes to attack me from, but I should be able to fend that off reasonably easily anyway. Right, before I enter, let's just have a look at my admin. And down here I want to be a little bit careful of as well. Right, so we've got a notification, somebody's leveled up. Hakagil has leveled up, so let's pop her on a cold one. Okay, guys. Oh, and I've double timed it up. Oh no, can I catch up? No, I can't quite catch up. So let's pop him in there just to sort the public order for a little bit, and let's enter. And let's keep chasing these Agol out of my lands. So we'll push them out of my territory, and then we will start reclaiming my homeland. The question is, do I go for Mung first and keep a force here, or do I finish off Agol first, which will give me a border with those orcs? It will probably also stop those orcs expanding too much. And then I can push against Mung and finish them, take my time finishing them off to secure. The issue is no matter where I push, there's going to be a lot of chaos corruption, so it's going to take a while to bring these territories back in line. And Agol potentially has territories spanning further away, but once they're pushed out of my main territories, I'm not particularly worried about them anymore. I'll have a bit of a look when I can get back up there, but I know you can't see it here, but there is a line of islands goes right along up here. Well, not islands, a line of the continent goes right along up here, and Agol have territories all the way along that, at least in the other maps. So yeah, you can see there, so they potentially have territories up here as well. I don't know what the orcs have done with them up there, but that's not a huge worry if they are still left, and there are a few little islands up here as well. Yeah, so we'll see how everything is going here. I do need to get my Black Ark patrolling the seas, or a second Black Ark out, so I've got a spare one to patrol the seas, picking up items out there. That or a Lord, I want doing that, and they are running back into my territory now. The thing is, I could end up chasing that army forever. So it's a bit of a tricky one here. I don't really want to leave them behind raiding, but there's not really a huge amount I can do about it. So my public order is good here, but I do have a Lord in the territory. Let's throw another one of these here. Let's have a look. Is the corruption slowly dropping? The corruption is slowly dropping here as well, so that should help. And hopefully we'll get to level up somewhere else soon.
Knows no limits. The true king.
So there's a lot of corruption in these places here, so even here I can't fully take it without going to war with them, and here. So yeah, I'm going to go to a Mung. This is their only real stronghold left. So I'm going to go to a war with Mung. Let's combine the armies a little bit here. Right. And I don't need quite so many.
Moving.
So we've got a lot of archers here. Potentially even too many.
Very well.
Death walks.
Okay, that'll do. So she can come back down here to keep looking after the other army, and we are going to hit Mung, and then we're going to push her up quickly. I am going to recruit another lord down here.
Favored of the Witch King.
Just to keep an eye on the place. And we do have enough for her to recruit a couple of... Oh, we can't actually recruit anything down here at the moment, so... They're just there, and once this is stable, I'm going to push them into the sea to start looking for mysterious islands and things, because that always helps my income and gives me various buffs. And soon we'll be able to even start taking on slaves again as we expand. Though for now I want to leave that. In fact, before I want to start next term, I want to have a look at that, just to make sure I'm not putting myself in a too tricky a position with a. Because I don't know if that bottom place is accepting slaves at the moment, so I want to make sure it's not before I push on. There is such a battle going on around here. Unfortunately, I think it's everybody versus Marathi. Which means Marathi will probably get knocked out with all these Slan pushing up.
Your destruction will bring me untold.
I don't need to accept your peace treaty at the moment, so I'd like a little bit more money. Oh well, I asked for too much. 300 isn't really worth it. They're not really in things with me, and taking the alliance would have annoyed Marathi a little bit. So it might even potentially mean they're more likely to make peace with Marathi, which would actually potentially help me, though Marathi's not in a good way at the moment. She's being assaulted from all sides, so unfortunately I think she's going to start losing territories, which might mean I go to war. See, this is the issue with this map, is very squeezed, so down here there are a lot of people for me to be at war with. I might even leave these guys as a nice buffer, and if I can keep these orcs friendly as well, yeah, they're a nice buffer against the old world for the time being, so I can potentially focus on either giving Marathi a bit of support or... Okay, so the Bleak Holds has been destroyed, so I am now completely surrounded by this other thing. Right, so they are raiding again. Let's pop him in there just to get him leveled up for a couple more turns, and her into there.
Dark Lord. What violent delight.
It's been an odd-shaped army, so I just want to make it a little bit of a better shape.
Bloodshed becomes me.
That'll do.
Noble of Nagara.
Just down here where I'm still having a few public order issues.
Dreadlord.
Oh, I'm recruiting from here. Oh, that's awesome. So that isn't global recruitment, that's Black Ark recruitment. That's quite cool.
Dreadlord at your command.
So this is Black Ark recruitment, this is local recruitment. That's quite a cool feature. So if I move the Black Ark down and around here, I would be able to recruit with it.
My cruelty knows no limits.
So nowhere is accepting slaves at the moment. I wish it would give you exact how much is being affected, the slaves. Is this it? effective slaves, so yeah. So these two places can take a few more slaves for the time being. When's my next ritual? 1 turn for another black arc, 1 turn for this, 6 turns for upping my public order, which will be very useful for when I go to the next war. I do seem to be having a bit more of an issue with public order with these guys than I do with anybody else, which does add an interesting twist onto the playstyle, certainly. Makes it a lot more fun, actually, because you've got to think about something different to think about. Oh, so they've taken the Moonglade again. I think Marathi is going to start getting pushed back now. So that other Dark Elf faction, Dark Elves, not Night Elves, Dark Elves, that other Dark Elf faction who's taken the areas below me, might become quite a useful buffer against all of these guys. They are friendly with me, so I might, I don't necessarily want to go to war with them. I might just leave them in place, because I do have a nice coast here, so I can sally forth into Ulthuan from there if I want to and start taking on the High Elves. While leaving them to do what they want elsewhere. However, the downside is they might also start chewing into Ulthuan. However, if they're dealing with all of this stuff down here, they're less likely to be able to focus the resources on doing that. Right, so here's Agol. However, the downside is that means I won't be able to get Marathi into my armies.
Yes! More power! More!
So they are still raiding here.
Dreadlord.
Let's start chasing.
Rise ahead.
So we have a couple of rights available. This is always good because it buffs up my sorceress. And these are also good because they are, well, they're not good because they're lowering my slaves. They do help because I'm lowering a slave. So now I can't perform any rights for a while. But it does burn off some of my slaves. Right. Let's do a cheeky save because this is what I need to be able to do. In fact, Nagaron, what is the defences of Nagaron like at the moment? Basically, it's can Nagaron hold itself? Yes.
Cruel Dreadlord. High march onwards!
God, talk. I'm listening.
I don't necessarily want military access. So yeah, they are being attacked from both sides. These guys are getting quite powerful, but they are not massively friendly with me. But they're not at war with me, so...
There is desperation in your pure overruled.
Okay, fine, whatever. Let's just have a look.
The people are displeased.
Let's pop another public order building out here. I don't necessarily need it at the moment, but it's always good to have just in case. Black roads are quite nice, so I'm gonna build another black road here as well.
Dreadlord.
And you can take Route Marcher and
The Druki are
how long
restless.
until I can level one of these guys up? So soon we should be able to cope with that. They're not going down fast, so that's good. I do need to keep an eye on the corruption there if they do lose any, though I don't think these guys are liable to lose territories to Marathi. Okay, so Lothans go. Hexalotl. I think Marathi is done for at the moment, unfortunately, which I didn't necessarily want to happen because I'd have quite liked to get Marathi. I could potentially go for a confederation. I don't care about those cities. We may well lose those cities, but then I'll at least get Marathi into my confederation, which means I've got another legendary lord. So we might see if they're willing to accept a confederation next turn. Again, if I do take it, I don't necessarily care about these places. I might even just dismantle them. We'll pay attention, see what I can do with them. Because they will be rife with chaos disruption. If you do bring... Oh, what do you want? No. I do not want to join your little war against the Skaven. The Skaven have been my friends, weirdly. They have not gone to war with me while I've been fighting all these wars. The last thing I need at the moment is another war. So Agol is pushing back. Oh, and I've got this little army now. That is dealt with. That's good. So extra money from all our slave pens. No, I didn't attack the Phoenix Gate. That's hardly surprising. So extra income from settlements. Oh, let's take the Untainted.
Be quick.
Ah, they shrunk our range. That's why he moved.
Ever vengeful.
Oh, it doesn't actually give me any more. So, right, you can stay in there, which puts you in a nice central position. Let's get the income. His public order is okay at the moment, so I don't necessarily need to push income here. However, I'm a little skint, so I don't want to be wasting too much money on random bits and pieces. No, we're getting ourselves there. We're getting there. So, Agol's taken there, but Mung has been hit as well. So those orcs appear to be at war with Mung as well. So, actually, this might work very well going to war with Mung now, because if they've been having territory chewed up, that means we can push together, and I'll probably end up in a little bit of cold war with those orcs then. But actually, I'm not particularly worried about fighting orcs as Dark Elves, because I've got my Nausicaan fighting style down to a T now, and actually Mung might be similar. I forgot to try and get my confederation with Marathi. And actually I've lost the opportunity, because after a turn where they'd lost a lot, they were probably far more likely to accept Confederation, which would have meant I'd have got her as a legendary lord, which would have been good to have a good second legendary lord. I don't know if she'd have suffered from the morale implications that the other guys do. Sorry, the leadership implications, so we'll have to see with that. So they're now attacking somewhere in the desert, the Plain of Dogs. And they are running up through my territories, which is perfect. I'm not fussed by that.
The King of Nagaron will hear your words.
Tell you what, I'm going to give them it for the moment. I can always take it off from later on. Then, you know, it fosters a good relationship. Okay, let's have a look.
We truly all want something, so speak.
No.
Naturally.
Okay, let's have a look at the Forge Bound. We are running out of Druki factions at the moment. Or known Druki factions. And now for the risk, guys.
Unthinkable. I have dark purpose.
We are going to hit the Temple of Cain and start this war. So this is a nice, simple battle. Secures this entire province for us, which means that that's going to start burning off massively. Don't need those extra buffs. So she can chase, but she can go into things, and hopefully we'll be able to trap these guys next turn. And we need to be prepared for that. I might even...
Speak, you craven
So you're definitely not going to get an instant peace treaty, but I'm going to try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up with and take that territory, that northern territory here. And once we've taken that, we will... It's going to be securing it because it's got a lot of chaos corruption. Sure, I can potentially push this army up and then move another army around. Actually, I can potentially push... We'll work it out when I'm up there. No, there's no need to rush too much at the moment. We're in a nice position at the moment. Let's start buffing our some extra untaintedness here. It does mean I burn through slaves a lot more.
Come, join us.
And actually, let's do the same. How much public order am I gaining? I'm getting 4 public order from that, so that's not worth losing there. Especially as... Oh no, our chaos is going up. It's because of this guy. Anyway, that's the turn for now. So we're getting there. We are nicely consolidated. We've got 3.5 regions, which probably makes us one of the more powerful, if not the most powerful, Druki faction at the moment. However, there were a lot more Druki factions early on. I don't have as many. The downside of this is there's a lot less people for me to have trade deals with at the moment, simply because all the other Druki factions have basically been knocked over by Agol up there in the north, which is massively bad. I do think Nausicaa haven't had their buff yet. They've not had their expansion units added to them, and they are already powerful. In my one of my Vortex campaigns, they invaded. I was playing as the High Elves, and literally by about turn 20 they owned half. Agol had half of Ulthuan, and I spent the next probably 70 turns slowly, driving them out as Tyrion. But they had the ability to, as you saw already in this, they were pumping out army after army after army, and they were doing that against Tyrion. Now, against the High Elves with your absolutely awesome archers, they weren't necessarily the hardest people to defeat, but when they're able to put 4 armies at you for every one, that's not necessarily good. Nope, you're not getting military access. Oh, do you want peace? Not a cat in hells. Right, so now we're in a good position. I've said it now, something's going to go horribly wrong. They keep managing to block this army, which means I keep not quite catching up.
What awaits me?
The strong rule here.
Right. Let's pop out a wall. I might drop some of these walls later for some more economy buildings, but for now we're not in a position to be able to do that. You can start double timing up here. Okay, let's so this is a single combatant attack. We do have our wind spell, which is strong versus multiple units, good against armor as well. We've got a Hex. Do we have any straight direct damage spells? No. Get Earthing, which reduces my miscast chance. Oh, this is direct damage. Again, it's a single combatant. And then we'll start buffing up his melee again a bit soon. Okay, so Here is stabilising. Let's move you up so you're in support range of anything going on.
I am master of destruction.
Anchors away. I approve of these dark deeds. Set the sails. A vile plan.
Okay, and end turn. So this is a cool unit because I can fill this with army. I basically put an army on this, and then I can sail it somewhere and use it literally as an expeditionary force, and then I get huge amounts of bombardment. And you can imagine Ulfwan here, pretty much a few black arcs, and I can have control everywhere. You know, there's nowhere there which I wouldn't be able to keep dominating from, you know, to have support from, other than a very few places. But actually thinking about it, so long as I can sail inside, I can probably support most of it. However, sailing inside when you don't have Lothan is probably a, you know, would be a risky idea. It would certainly involve quite a lot of guts to do, so we'll have to see if I want to do that. But because certainly my early invasions are going to be on the outer edge, and you know, avoiding the gates actually. Down the Bretonnian side, you know, down this side, the eastern side is probably the best early places to attack, though, depending on their alliances with Bretonnia. Because along here they've got huge gates. They've got eagle gates, I forget what they're called, or phoenix gates, where they can sally through the mountains towards you, and they are hugely strong citadels. Now, they're not necessarily going to be able to do much from them, but it does put them in a very powerful position to be able to go on the offensive from. Okay, so we're not doing terribly at the moment.
Merciless.
I'm going to start marching this army up north, because it is a good army. Towards here.
Yes.
They don't have a huge amount there, and we can take out those two places early on. Okay, we do have a little bit of a public order issue here at the moment. That's hardly surprising, as we just took the place. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to send you to here. Yeah, this should be, the public order here should be sorting itself. Yeah, the instability is slowly dropping off. And we'll have the extra 8 public orders soon. So I am going to take the economy options here. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to start dropping some of my walls and things around here soon, because this place is relatively secure. I know I've got the Skaven back there, and I do want to keep an eye on them, but anyway, we need to build up our economy a bit first for this to really be a major concern. So I am going to start taking on slaves again everywhere but Iron Mountains. So you can have a cold one. Okay. I'm avoiding making the bad beer jokes when I'm talking about cold ones. I've said it now, I'm going to have to make one at some point. Everybody else who's streaming does seem to be making good jokes about the cold ones, especially whenever they have battles against the orcs. I'm sure you can work that one out for yourselves, guys. And if you're confused, ask in the comments, and I'll let you know. Okay, so Marathi is still fighting back, though she is losing. I don't think she's going to win this long run, but she's still got a lot of power. She has actually taken somewhere in the islands over in Ulfwan, so she's not doing terribly, but she's also not doing brilliantly. So things could be better, things could be worse. Obviously all the vampire factions we're going for at the moment. The nasty high elves who Obviously the... Oh no, sorry, that wasn't a place. It was just a black ark over there. I thought it was a city. You know, the false sons of Ulthuan. Soon I will be able to go and retake that. Prove that I'm the true king of Ulthuan. The true Phoenix King. Obviously through violence and war. Oh! Oh! They've got trolls. Let's fight this! I didn't realise they had trolls. This could be more of a fun fight than I've been expecting. However, I've got a lot of armour piercing damage. I think trolls count as being quite armoured, so yeah. This could be a little bit more fun than I expected, because I don't really have a huge amount of anti-large here. I've got my spears, so they should be able to do a bit of anti-large. My main thing here is I'm going to use my riders, my missile cav to keep these guys occupied, but they have quite a few in the other army as well. So they are going to have to be focused down fast, because they will rip into my units, especially as I've got quite an aggressive force here rather than a defensive force. But then again, that said, even my archers are very good defensively, so these guys are also something I want to worry about, because they get around and into my archers. They will be a pain to deal with. This will be the end of the stream after this. Sorry, of the recording after this battle, because we are at 30 minutes now. So by the time we finish this, we'll be over my usual sort of time frame. Right, so I'm going to keep a unit of spears on the edge, and I'm going to keep my normal guys in the middle, as she can go right in the middle. I am going to push forwards. Hopefully I'll force them forward straight away with this guy. And they are hiding up here. So let's just reshape myself slightly so I'm facing them.
My blade hungers. On to slaughter.
You can start hitting those doggies. No, you can start hitting them. Ooh, and they've just had a spell cast on the Plague. Their armour, Plague of Rust. So they don't have a huge amount of armour. Okay, so they're letting me shoot them quite happily. Let's have a look at these guys. They're not pretty. And they're letting us hammer into them.
We are ready. Bolt throwers.
So these are better versus large, so I'm probably going to use this and start him targeting on the trolls as soon as they start moving. These guys just aren't moving. Now they're coming. Let's just keep pestering them. And now let's move. Get out of there. Get out of there.
To destruction. The merciless host. Make them bleed. Carnage awaits. Advance, Dookie.
Okay, so this is reasonable. These guys are not anti-large either. Oh, why did my spears not go where I told them to?
On to slaughter! Bleak swords! Corsair!
Right, re-jib slightly.
Kill everything! Dark riders! Dark sharks! Hydra killer! No survivors! We are ready! Dark riders crossbows! Advancing! Terror and death! Dark riders!
Okay, right.
Dealers in death! Blood will flow! Battle ready!
Let's start getting everybody involved.
Hear my words!
End them! Dark riders! Death is coming! Death! Understood! Slash! Kill!
Right, you two can focus on him now.
Dark sharks! No survivors! Attack!
Okay, that's good. And you can hit him. You can go and hit them. Okay, so I'm quite happy with what we're doing now. Right, you can just start firing where you want. You can keep on him, keep dealing with him. Okay, I'm relatively happy now. We're doing reasonably. Let's just let these guys start firing at will. Let's get these up behind.
To destruction! Grouping forward! Onwards to murder!
You can slam into the back of these guys, which will should break them nice and quickly. You can start hitting their lord. So now this is going well. Why are you guys moving?
Battle calls! Moving out!
You can just stay formed there. Right, let's start chasing them down. Let's hit their lord.
Dealers in death! Onward! Moving out!
Okay, and Murderous Prowess has just procced.
Great spear!
Which is going to give us a lot of nice buffs.
Bleak swords!
It's going to massively buff our damage, certainly. And we're about to get the master out, I do believe.
My blade hungers! Dark shark!
Yeah, we're hitting the master out now, so we've got this nice and easily. Which means we're going to be able to march into that settlement next turn easily. We've taken quite a few losses, but that was to be expected. We've kept them off our archers, who've done most of our damage, as usual. We've got one troll who's not broken, and he's broken. So yeah, I'm happy with that battle. We did our job. My front line did its job there of holding, and that's literally all I wanted them to do. I used them to hold while my archers do the damage. Actually, my swordsmen didn't take too. I say that none of them took too bad losses. Only a couple of units really suffered there, and I probably could have cycled them out. Something I need to get a little bit better at doing is cycling units out. No unit really stood out for the amount of damage it did. I mean, it was a 250 for 500-ish. So it's a fairly good battle, considering they had a few good units, but most of their infantry are quite light infantry. And when you consider how powerful my archers are as well, it's an okay trade. The thing which we really did well there was we dealt with their trolls. Their trolls were the dangerous thing in the warrior there, guys. Anyway, this is going to be where we are ending this, guys. So as always, please feel free to offer me any feedback, hints or tips. I am new to doing these live streams, and if you think you know how to play Dark Elves better than me, or think I'm doing anything tactically wrong, by all means let me know and I will try and incorporate it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching.